Achates is a pretty annoying gatekeeper to the Feiton tier of guardians, and I'm gonna teach you how to smash through him like the Kool-Aid man does walls.
Oh yeah, here comes Kool-Aid.
Aside from all his generic moves and easily dodgeable ground AoEs, I'll be going over the most notable and prominent ones to avoid. These gatekeeper bosses reside at the 4th step of every tier in guardian raids, and I'll dub them asshole bosses. I'll make a series dedicated to teaching you how to shit in their Cocoa Puffs without them shitting on you first. I'll go over his movesets and how to avoid a potential wipe, and also put a full run at the end so you can get a better understanding of how the fight may go. Well, let's get right into it. First, we have his breaths. He does 2 variations, and if you get hit by this, you'll get a debuff in which 4 stacks will make an AoE around you that can give other people the debuff as well. This makes you have to stay away from other party members to avoid spreading the germ, and if you're ranged, it's not as bad, but if you're melee, chances are you're gonna lose out on DPS because your other party members will be in the boss's face and you can't go there. So the first breath is just a straight shot ahead of him. It's easy to dodge, and the tell is he slightly raises his head and his face will glow white as he briefly charges his breath. Pro tip is that if you're hugging his face, there's a spot right in front of him when hugging his bosom. That's safe. Second type of breath is a bit more devious because he shoots it in an AoE cone in front of him as he walks backwards. The tell is also that he raises his head, so keep an eye out for the subtle movement he does before sneezing all over you. This is best dodged by jumping out to the side or running alongside or behind him as he sprays his germs while backing up. Next notable thing is he puts a dark circle AoE around you. If you see this, run because the thing explodes and turns into a ground AoE that lingers for a while and spreads the germ. Best practice is to dispose of this at the edge of the map where nobody will run into it by accident during battle. Next, the laser pizza is a very small wedge of dodgeable space, so run away from him to get completely out of the pizza AoE or get the wider area of the safe wedge space. The tornado shot is also an annoying one that is sometimes able to be countered. He raises both of his wings and fires 3 tornadoes into a cone shape in front of him. You can dodge by going to his side or back, or staying in an area between 2 tornadoes. The further you can run away from him while stuck in the front, the more space you have to dodge in between them. Now, this is the meat and potatoes of importance. When Achates goes invincible for a moment and howls at the air with his wings raised and fades out of view, get ready around the center of the area you're fighting in because he'll appear with a colored shield around himself and 1 or multiple mobs that shoot beams at you. You want to kill these mobs that drop stones. You want to pick up the stone and throw the same color stone at his shield in order to neutralize it. You have to do this multiple times. Since there's a chance that only 1 mob spawns and there are not enough stones, it's best to assign yourself a color stone so that everyone picks up a color green, yellow, or blue. His shield will randomly change to any of these colors, and the 4th person is a backup for when the shield turns the same color again. If this mechanic is done correctly, the boss gets staggered in which 2 weak spots show up on his wings which have to be destroyed with destruction bombs and skills. If both of these conditions are not met, he enrages, starting out by flying into the air and creating a vacuum AoE that sucks you towards him, and immediately starts casting a fat AoE that can one-shot most. You have to run out as soon as possible, but there are random orbs that get in your way and try to slide tackle and knock you up, so be careful. If you get hit by one of these, the knock-up animation won't let you get out of the AoE in time, and it's most likely a death. Now, even if you don't succeed in these mechanics, it's not the end of the world. Although it's more inconvenient, you can still kill this guy. Now that he's in an enraged state, the only way to stop him is to stagger him. Having a high stagger class like a blue lancer is great. She now hits harder, attacks faster, and has a few new movesets. Her breath can have a rotating 90-degree range in front of her. She does a rotating flap of her wings that can hurt if you get caught since you'll get knocked up and hit multiple times. And there's also a little wing slap she starts doing off to her side. Most notable in this state, she can do the one-shot vacuum into AoE and slide tackling orb sequence randomly, so be very aware and ready to book it when you see that vacuum animation. If you manage to stagger her, not counting counter staggers, she goes back to normal and you resume the regularly scheduled program. The only difference now is that she makes a red and blue debuff on 2 random people's heads. These 2 people need to come together and gather up so they can cancel out the debuff. Rinse and repeat and try to stay alive. This boss is an asshole, and if you do, you got the W. Best of luck guys, and here's the run I did in order to break through to the next tier with some pugs. You can see the drama and emotion as we fight this boss through our chats. It's all around a great time though. I hope you enjoy.